Hello everyone. Sorry for not uploading for a month. I had a summer job and spent my time sleeping and working. Today I have Iwaoi one-shot and my sequatsu series is still in the works but should be coming soon. I have a lot of content to edit, so I hope you are excited. Sorry again for not uploading in a month. I hope you enjoy. Nice hit, Iwaizumi. Thank you, sir. Oikawa, can I speak to you for a moment? Oikawa nodded and went over to him. I have something else I have to do this afternoon. As captain of this team, I am asking you to do this if you don't mind. It's an interview about the team, and since you're the captain, I think you'd be the best replacement for me in this. I don't mind at all. You won't have long to prepare, but don't mess this up. It would look bad on my side. He handed Oikawa the paper with the time and locations on it before walking away. He went to go put it in his bag in the locker room and Iwaizumi followed. What did coach need you for? He wants me to do this interview this afternoon in this place, but he hasn't given me any time to prepare and there is a lot of pressure to not mess anything up. He opened his locker and he put the paper into his bag. We might as well start getting change. There is only 5 more minutes of practice. They both started to get changed into their uniform, ready for the long school day ahead. They decided to go ahead of everyone to their classroom. Toru sat near the back of the classroom and Iwa sat near the front on the other side of the room. Toru was sad about it because he had no one he could really talk to, and Iwa was slightly happy because he knew where he was sat he would be able to get on with his work without getting interrupted. Toru pulled the piece of paper out again and he realized that their coach never gave him ideas of what questions could be asked, so he could have a bit of a starter on what to answer. Anxiety started to make itself known to Toru. It wasn't an unfamiliar feeling. He often felt it, but it was so much stronger today. Okay everyone, if you could take notes from the textbook this lesson and make it so you can understand what it is saying. We did the lesson on it last time and now it's making sure you understand it. The teacher explained and everyone opened their textbooks and started to make their notes, except for Oikawa. He was looking and trying to do the work, but his mind was now just focused on the interview. He was trying to tell himself that it would be fine and he'd answer perfectly fine. He was just overthinking it and he couldn't help it. He hated being told stuff like this a few hours in advance. It just made his anxiety worse. If he had been told a day or two in advance, he could make himself feel more calmer and prepared. However, he couldn't let people see him like this, especially his team. He didn't want them to think of him as a weak captain. He wanted to seem like someone who is strong and independent. Little did he know, there was a certain someone watching him struggle across the classroom. After a few hours of more lessons, the lunch bell rang. Everyone got up from their seats and headed to their normal lunch places. However, for Toru, he just remained seated. He had his head on the desk, eyes closed, trying to keep his breathing under control. You staying here for lunch? Yeah, I'm just going to chill a bit before this interview, he said, putting on a fake, calm smile. Iwaizumi saw straight through it, but he didn't want to make him feel more uncomfortable. Do you want me to get you some lunch? Yeah, please. He was about to get some money out for Iwa, but he stopped him. Lunch is on me. Oikawa watched him leave and he sighed. He wanted to tell him how he was feeling. They were dating after all, but he didn't want to bother him. He could feel the anxiety coming back for the interview. His breathing was starting to get out of control slightly. Tears started to well in his eyes, but then Iwaizumi came back in. You okay? He could tell something was more wrong from when he left. Yeah, of course. I'm just tired, that's all. He lied, yawning again to make it look like the tears in his eyes were from yawning and being tired. Well, you must be tired, because it was clear to see that you weren't focusing in class all day. Yeah, I'll see if there are any catch-up lessons going, I guess. He sighed and then Iwa put his books down on Oikawa's desk. You can use mine to help you, and I guess I can also help you if you don't understand, but you need to start paying more attention, Shitikawa. Thanks, Iwa. It helps a lot. He gave a genuine smile. Now eat up. You don't want your stomach to rumble through this interview. They both ate, have the occasional conversation in between bites. Once they were finished, it was near the end of lunch. Oikawa stood up because he knew he needed to get there early. You'll do fine. He got up and he gave Oikawa a hug. He hugged him back a little tighter than usual and Iwa noticed and he pulled away and pecked his lips. Thanks, Iwa. I better get going. He walked down the halls to the room where it would be held. The door to the room was closed, so he gently knocked. You must be the replacement for this interview. The interview was a tall, thin woman. She had a very serious expression and a stern voice which made Oikawa feel even worse. Yes, I am. He stuttered and he mentally cursed at himself for doing so. Well, come in. He entered and went to sit in the opposite chair. I hope you realize that this is a serious interview about the volleyball club here, so I don't want any stupid responses to these questions, she said with even more stern. Panic then started to take him over. He was worried he'd say something stupid and not even realized. She then started to ask the questions. Through answering all the questions he was stuttering a lot. Some questions he managed not to stutter but most of them he did. He could free a panic attack starting to come through it. His breathing started to quicken and tears started to brew. That's all, you may leave. Oikawa just got up and left the room quickly. His breathing picked up and tears started to fall. Soon he was gasping for air. He was shaking and crying. He slid down the wall. He tried to calm himself but he couldn't. From overthinking the whole day it has just pushed him over the edge. Iwa was walking down the halls. Practice was cancelled. He looked up seeing Oikawa in the state he was in. Kawa. He rushed over to him. He knew this was a bad panic attack. Hey, it's okay, I'm here. He crouched down in front of him. Oikawa leaned forward and he rested his head on Iwa's shoulder, just so he had some sort of comfort. Iwa rubbed his back gently and slowly he calmed down a bit. He got out some water from his bag and gave it to him. Here, try and have a few sips. Oikawa got the lid off and he took a couple small sips of water. His breathing was still irregular. Okay, now breath with me. Breath in slowly for 5 seconds and exhale slowly for 7 seconds. They both started to do it until Oikawa was calm. I'm sorry. Oikawa hugged Iwa. It's okay, you did nothing wrong. I can already guess what was the cause. Do you want to come back to mine? Toru nodded and Iwa helped him off the floor and Iwa picked up his and Oikawa's things. He held his hand tightly and started to lead them to his house. It was silent with the occasional sniffle from Oikawa but then they arrived and he was much calmer. Iwaizumi pulled him into a loving hug and they stayed like that for a few minutes. Do you want to cuddle? Yeah, they went to the sofa and laid down. Oikawa snuggled close to Iwa. He decided that he would also put on one of Oikawa's favorite movies on quietly in the background. After a while they were both cuddling, with a blue blanket on them and both fast asleep next to each other. The end. Thank you so much for watching. Since I'm not working ATM I should hopefully be uploading more. I have a few Haikyuu and SK8 ones to make and edit. Thank you so much for watching, it means a lot. Bye.